If we look at the current options for trying to treat this problem of small bowel obstruction, knowing that the majority of these come from adhesions or are caused by adhesions, then we can sort of break down these current existing solutions into two categories, preventative and interventional. Preventative are things that are try to get at preventing the formation of the adhesions and sort of cut the problem off at the very beginning. There are three different categories of those. The first is surgical technique. This isn't a device or anything. This is just by performing surgeries in a certain way, with having the right conditions during surgery. We think we can limit the adhesion formation later. Fluids and gels are things that would be put into the abdominal cavity either during the procedure or at the end of the procedure, again with the intent of inhibiting the growth of the adhesions. Solid barriers are effectively doing the same thing, but yeah, this is like a sheet of material to be put on the tissue surfaces at the end of a procedure, again with the goal of, even if the adhesions form, this barrier will prevent the adhesions from linking those tissues together, which is eventually what leads to the obstruction. On the interventional side, the way patients are managed non-operatively is with what we call a nasogastric tube. And this whole sort of treatment thing is called GI decompression. This is just a period of waiting with this tube in, sort of hoping that things will resolve on their own. That is generally reasonably effective. About 2/3 of patients who have a small bowel obstruction get this, well, they all get this treatment, and about 2/3 of them are able to go home having had their problem resolved with this. But it takes a long time waiting in the hospital. And then on the far end, we see surgery. About the other third of patients get a surgery to treat this. It's a very expensive procedure, about $15,000. It is very effective in terms of resolving the small bowel obstruction, but it has the significant trade-off that surgery is often what causes these adhesions to form in the first place, and so it's potentially creating a kind of a vicious cycle of adhesion formation and small bowel obstruction. So there's a significant opportunity for a truly effective solution that doesn't require surgery. What people might pay for, or what's really a viable solution, is in comparison largely to the existing treatments. And so we were able to say, in this case, surgery is pretty effective, but it's also pretty expensive. So we're looking for something that should be at least as effective as surgery, but perhaps significantly cheaper. That's probably the first way we looked at it.
Yeah, and then the cheaper, or the other solution, which is pretty simple, a nasogastric tube and all of the kind of plastic tubing and system that goes with that, is cheap, but they stay in the hospital for 5.5 days, so the overall cost of these patients is still significant. So if we could come up with something that could even be more expensive than a nasogastric tube, but get you out of the hospital, a day or two early, that would be, significant cost savings. So we've thought through all that. I don't know that we have specific numbers on it, but are working on it.